Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeons of Castle Blackmoor. You may notice that we've got a slight change in formatting for the screen. I'm experimenting with some different layouts and also some different available templates that we can use. And I'm trying to get, without doing sort of cutouts, I'm trying to get the best image I possibly can for us in terms of how I'm using Zoom and also as much play space as I can for Fantasy Grounds. So hey, welcome to the stream. So we are on episode 38, which is pretty fantastic and outstanding. And something we talked about a little bit last week, but I want to sort of let you know is talk about again is for the next couple weeks in March. We will be playing, continuing to play on Saturday, but we are probably going to hop to Thursday evenings, Eastern time, starting in April. And a couple reasons for that. We've got some changes in work schedule for everyone. We've got some folks moving. It's kind of amusing. I'm going to be going to where Jimmy is, and Jimmy's going to be going to the East Coast, so we're kind of hopping, going past each other. We might get to wave as we drive across the Midwest. So we're going to be changing, some locations. We've got some people changing jobs. And as the COVID situation improves, a lot of our work schedules are stabilizing and getting back to what's traditional as opposed to what they've could have been doing as interim steps. So that's going to make some changes. So we'll be Thursday night, we think about 6-ish, is we make that change. We'll definitely let you know what's going on in the Facebook group, let you know what's going on YouTube, and also share that information with you here. 38 episodes, wow. And our party is now, what level are we, everybody?
10?
Uh,
I think we're 10, right?
13.
I thought 21, right?
21, excellent. So we're 7th level, and so I think we're probably looking at seriously probably another 60 episodes or so, probably about no, before we are cycling the campaign all the way out to 20th level, which is really what I want to do, and I think we're all committed to seeing exactly what D&D 5e in Blackmoor can do when we take it all the way to its conclusion at 20th level. So we're looking forward to that, and I think you all are too. That being said, I'm going to drop into Tad's normal table rules. And some of you have heard this, and I see we got some new folks today also. Some of you have not. One of the big things that we do is we try and stay in character all the time, and of course, we're not always successful with that. I think sometimes we all are gaming nerds, and we get really excited, and we're friends, and we will, step out of character. But for the most part, we always try and be, especially during points of NPC interaction, interacting as our characters and in characters. So you'll see the players when they are making a decision, stop into character. Anytime they're talking to someone, they'll be in character. And that really is something that we strive for because, this is being a hero. This is a role playing game. So we role play. So, as a side note, one of the best comments ever made to me was by my son James, and my son James said to me, "Dad, D&D is just grown-up rules for pretend," and I think that's absolutely true, and we try and live by that. Second thing I do that I really think supports that experience for everyone is we make die rolls for skill checks in the tower, and Fantasy Ground has a mechanic called the tower. And that lets the players roll the dice, the digital pixel structure, right? But make the die roll themselves. But it keeps the result hidden. So I'm not making that die roll for them. And then I describe what they see. So honestly, if you get like a 23 on your perception check and you get a 4 on your perception check, you probably get the same information, right? If there's nothing there. Yeah, you don't see anything, or you don't see anything. So what that really does for the players is it has them respond to the feedback that I give them, as opposed to the mechanics of the die roll. And we all like that, and I think that helps people immerse in the physical environment of the character a little bit more. Now that being said, we're all dice nerds. And when somebody rolls something particularly fantastic or particularly horrible, and I can show it without distracting from the environment that I'm trying to paint, the picture that I'm trying to paint for everyone, then I will absolutely show that detail. So that has been outstanding. So last week, for example, Delbert managed to roll 2 charisma checks above 20 with a pitiful +2 modifier, which had profound and effective impacts for his character, and I had to show that information, just saying. So what we'll do now is I'm going to step out of the way, and I'm going to let the players introduce themselves, talk about what they're looking for their characters this week, what they're seeing as challenges, and really where they are in terms of what their expectations are. So thank you for joining us here in Blackmoor, and we'll be doing this together for the next 3 hours. I think we'll start with PJ. PJ, do you want to talk about where Idris is for the week, what you're looking forward to, what your mindset is?
Sure. Idris is in the rear with the gear. He's fine with the self-proclaimed queen of the party, the one with two eyes, taking charge, doing things. I mean, she abdicated her position a couple times over the last few sessions, but I think she's finally stepping up and willing to take the hit points for this team. While he just, yeah, that's about right. Bullshit. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. So he's just sitting back. He's enjoying it. It's nice. I mean, he's a little slower these days, So you got. Was it Whitney Houston said, "I believe in the children; that they are the future." So these halflings and Dokrai, they got this. Yep. So yeah, he's fine sitting in the back, being slow, thinking about his life choices and how he's going to get all this stuff out of the dungeon too. Like that's in the back of his mind right now. All the stuff he's got to haul out.
I just had a picture of Idris standing in front of an abacus, flipping stuff left, flipping stuff right, and sort of scratching his beard. Just had that flash in my head for what it's worth. So,
if any of you on the stream watch South Park, it's the one where the guy's trying to figure out the left hand, right hand montage. That's what Idris is going through right now.
Matt, where's Penny at? What's Matt thinking? Where do you think Penny's heading? Let's talk through where your character's at.
I just want to go back to Idris real quick. That's pretty big thinking that he knows how to use an abacus. That's complex machinery for old Idris right there. Yeah, Penny's probably a little concerned about the whole "we may not be able to get out of here" thing. But that's kind of par for the course for Penny, to be honest. She's not a real positive person with her outlook upon life and people. So this whole being stuck down here and, the whole murder, torture dungeon forever is, maybe that's just her lot in life, is to be stuck in horrible situations with people that are going to die horrible deaths around her. Sorry, Idris. It's just going to happen. I don't know what to tell you.
I think fatalist is a really good description for Penny.
Or I'll be back with blue eyes.
Yeah. She's got that survivor's guilt too. Everybody around her's died and had horrible, situations. So she's kind of expecting it to happen with these people at some point in time too.
I hear you. So, that was really insightful, Matt. And something I want everybody to know is, I pick on Matt a little bit, but he can run anything you can imagine when it comes to characters. I've seen him run lawful good characters. I've seen him run really damaged characters like Penny, and his range as a role player is pretty freaking intense. And that's true of everybody at the table, but I just wanted to flag that for you. I think Matt does Penny so well that you may think that he can't do a whole lot of other sort of stuff. Oh my God, Matt has an incredible acting range, so just flagging that for you. Jenabink, you're up.
I would like to point out, though, that Matt is really an asshole. So Jenna Pink is not terribly concerned about leaving, because maybe if we get stuck here, she'll actually get to spend time in her workshop. At least every once in a while, we're finding something interesting. So she's considering expanding her arcane science repertoire past constructs. I mean, maybe undead are just a kind of fleshy construct, which leads to flesh golems, I realize, but, we'll see where this goes. She's trying to find arcane science joy where she can.
So what I'm hearing you say is that Jenna Bink is at a point where she's really trying to define what she's going to do with the things she's learned, right? So what can she do? What is ethical for her to do? And what's the full scope of her power? Is that kind of where she's at?
That, and also when trying to do the team thing and go along with the party, how can she still meet her own objectives of arcane science?
Excellent. I understand completely. So, Jimmy, would you like to talk about what's going on with Delbert, what's going on with Jimmy, what your character's expecting from this session, and where you're trying to move forward?
Well, for me personally, I'm getting ready to move across the country, so things are a bit chaotic. But for Delbert, having done an inventory of the number of scrolls that he has on stock, he's getting a little nervous. There's been a couple of instances where we've been he's been completely tapped out of spells, and that's not a good place to be. Going to the surface actually sounds like a good idea. There's also the idea that the coot is trying to close the door for us, and that would not be good to get stuck down here because you know, the longer you stay here, the more you become part of the ecology, and we don't need to become, part of the ship, part of the crew.
Okay.
So going to the surface is actually probably where he's thinking to go.
So one of the things that I really like in terms of how Genabink benchmarks and how Delbert benchmarks is they're both a type of risk assessment. They're just organized around different priorities. So we have two 20 intelligence characters, and the way the two of you approach the environment and the way the two of you assess what's necessary is completely different, but very precise and absolutely works based on the priorities that your characters have. So that's just something that I've noticed and something I appreciate in terms of the quality of the performances that the two of you do is your characters. So, well, all that being said, we all ready to begin? All right. So when last we met, you had been working sort of in a sweep after defeating the last of the undead, working room by room by room to search the rest of the complex and really determine what was going on. And one of the things that had happened with Delbert is Delbert had or no, one of the things that happened with Idris is Idris had Shia tell him that, hey, the coot is closing things down. I'm pretty certain he's trying to keep you guys trapped in here. And the party had begun to discuss that. And you guys were still going back and forth with it when we sort of left. So right now you are where you are on the map. You had just searched through a room that you think had belonged to the warden of this prison complex, and you were getting ready to do some additional work, I think, in terms of doing reconnaissance. And with that, I will step out of the way and let you guys proceed with your business.
All right. Well, Penny's gonna, since we just finished, she's gonna move into this room and kind of take an inventory as to everything that happened with all the undead and stuff.
Very much what you're seeing in this room, in this area, is this has been torn apart. There were a bunch of what obviously were tables here and perhaps some bookshelves. Different sorts of bedding were in here, and things have been torn down from the wall and they have been sort of shredded and ripped down. There looks like at one point there was a small chest, probably about this big. Yeah, probably about this big. And you can see where that was shoved into a wall and struck with some sort of blunt object. Maybe a sledgehammer, maybe an axe, but it's busted. And you can see where there's one silver coin that's sort of been driven down into the surface of the flooring. So it looks like this room's been completely destroyed and was looted at one point. And you're seeing sort of the remnants of that. Are you going to look over into the next area?
Yeah, I'll look down that hallway as well.
All right, that actually opens up into a larger room.
Genabink is going to enter the room that Penny was in,
Okay.
kind of look down on the floor and do like the thing that dogs do and circle 3 times. And then she's going to sit there with some chalk and start writing down mathematical formulas to ritual cast Detect Magic.
All right, very good. Very good. So it's like your approach is sort of the chalkboard, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Now, keep in mind that all these doors had been relocked and secured, but you have picked them and opened them. But at some point, they were probably open because the room was completely and totally ransacked. And one of the things that you've noticed is that when the doors are locked, they don't seem to be damaged. The rooms don't seem to be raided in the same way. So,
Good. Well, I'm investigating this room as well to see if there's anything.
you find. Hang on a second. Let me open this back up for you.
Delbert is also, once again, I'm calling on your support for casting Detect Magic ritually.
All right. So, Matt, you see where the arrow's pointing?
Mm-hmm.
That rock is different. All right. As you put your hand on it, it's almost got a pulse to it. All right. It's got a heat to it. It vibrates underneath your hand. So as you touch it, you're like, "What the hell is that?"
How
Uh,
big is it? Like the
it is. I'm sorry. What was the question, Matt?
how large is the rock? Is it like a
It's a 10-foot section of wall, and it's got the same laminate over it that the rest of the room does, but there's something different about it. There's a palpable field of energy. So when you touch it, you can feel a slight vibration, and the hair starts to stand up on her forearm. So about this time, I think Jennabink's probably done with her detect magic, and um, you had identified some items, I believe, already.
Do you need
With
me to
the
roll and investigate after my detect magic is done?
um,
um,
yeah,
maybe come look at this wall here, Jenabink. It's like really weird.
Can you define what weird is? I mean,
Like not normal.
yes, that is okay. I will walk over and look at whatever Penny is indicating.
all right, go ahead. It's pulsing with white, brilliant light. Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw. You are standing in front of a pedestal, and sitting in front of you are three chairs. There is a woman, young, beautiful, sword over her shoulder, breastplate armor. There is an old man sitting in front of you with a spear leaning up against his chair and an eye patch. Sitting immediately to his left is a man in his mid 40s wearing chainmail with scars on his face, scars on his hands. Go ahead and give me a religion check, please.
Oh, this is not arcane science. This is not arcane science at all.
Um, One of the things that has happened to you at times, all right, is I mean, your family was fairly devout. You spent much of your time going, of course, to the Noma's pantheon, but you also followed the high holy days of the traditional pantheon. And you believe sitting in front of you are the avatars of Sakwan, Odir, and Henrin. So the old man with the spear leans forward, rushes his bear, and he goes, Jedabink, you have sacrificed much to protect the realm. Tell me the reason you do so.
Wait, am I dead? Did Penny finally stab me in the back? Is that what happened?
No, no.
Oh, why?
So
Okay, sorry. What was the question again? I was concerned about the death thing.
the woman speaks up and she goes, Little sister, here's what we face. Here's what is going on to give you context. There is a shrine here that we have been able to make sacred and protected, and you, unshielded, walk forward and attempt to sense the arcane, and we were able to speak directly to you, briefly, but we were able to interact with you and give you some guidance, perhaps. And Henry says, Aye, we can be your shield against things, and there may be a way for us to begin to heal the damage that's been done to your heart. So, speak to his sister. And then Odir turns around and he says, Again, you have made sacrifices for us. Why have you done it? What is the reason that you personally choose to protect the realm and make the sacrifices that you do?
Well, I mean, as annoying as people can be, I mean, they are kind of, important, and I like living and finding out more things about arcane science, and sometimes I might actually like the people I'm traveling with. They can be kind of nice, and I'd rather they not die because that would make me feel bad, I think. Yes.
And Odir just sort of looks down. And then Sakwin says, "So, little sister, when you pick up your hammer and you stride forward and you face an evil, what do you attempt to achieve for yourself? What is your goal?"
For me, I really would just prefer these things not be here because I understand that sometimes my social constructs are not quite that of normal people. I will admit that I can tell when things are evil and good, and the evil things just need to go away, and I would much rather the good things are okay. And really, people should just be left alone and be happily fed and have shelter. And this is probably not the best place for me to talk about social justice, is it?
And then Henrin says, he looks at you, he sizes you up, and he looks you up and down, and he says, "What do you think is the greatest gift one person can give another?"
Oh, uh, well, I mean, really, in some ways it's time, in some ways it's knowledge. It's really whatever that person has that is most important to them. So for me, if my gift, if my sacrifice would be like if I had to be dumb in order for someone else to be smart, that would be really horrible. Please don't make me dumb. I really don't want to be dumb.
No, little sister, we will not make you dumb. So, there's darkness and blackness coiled within you, though, is there not?
Sometimes the arcane science can get a little gray. Yes, yeah, uh-huh.
Sakwin says, "Well, has the coot not spoken to you, whispered sweet things in your ears, and had you reconsider who you were and what is good? Has that not happened to you, little sister?"
Oh yes, that has absolutely happened. Infernal things in constructs is a no. That yes, infernal things no.
So, have your friends travel with you to our shrine. Seek us out again, and perhaps we can start to leech the darkness away from you. And
Where is that?
so, behind the wall you stare at now.
Oh, okay. Yes, we can do that. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure Delbert will be very interested, and we'll all be very interested. Yes.
And so, Penny, you see Jenna Binks just standing there, just completely slack jawed, staring at the wall. She's just isolated. So,
Uh, like poker, like she's
she is non responsive. If you'd like to make a medicine check, go ahead.
sure.
You hear from the other room, I think you have to punch her.
We're going back to the slapping.
Delbert, there's a bright, brilliant white light coming from the other room.
Then I will say, "Hey guys, come this way."
You walk across, and it's actually. Give me a wisdom save.
Quickfoot, that means you two. Wisdom save.
Hey, the lights are on, but nobody's home, Penny.
I'll try and slap her, see what happens, you know?
That good, wholesome medicine.
Oh, outstanding. Outstanding. Delbert, standing in front of you, sitting in front of you, have a pedestal that you're standing in front of, and sitting in front of you is a man in chainmail, middle-aged, an older man with a spear leaning against his throne, and then a woman with a breastplate and a sword over her shoulder. Make a religion check. This is the physical manifestation of Odir, Henrin, and Sakwin. Actually, their avatar, a spiritual manifestation. And just for reference, you both get the exact same levels of information from this.
Okay.
All right. So, Delbert, we just spoke to Jenabink. There's an opportunity for us to assist you in a great and potent way. I have a question for you, though.
Yes.
What is the role of the law? Says the old man. Says O'Dare. What do you consider personally just?
Well, the role of the law is to provide a framework for society. Justice is whatever serves society best.
And then Sakwin looks at you and she goes, Younger brother, I have seen you take on risk. I have seen you step forward, blade in hand, to confront whatever faces you. I have also seen you reach into the depths of yourself and use magic to achieve an end regardless of cost. Please tell me, when is it just to strike and when is it unjust to strike?
Justice comes from it takes justice comes from the needs of society. And if you're striking in the name of justice, does that not make it just?
She leans back. Henrin stands up and he walks directly over in front of you and he looks directly into your eyes about 8 to 10 inches away from you and he goes, How do you sleep now that you have used your magic to slay innocents?
Admittedly, less well than before.
Be honest when you speak to us in all things. Open up the center of your heart. Give us a gift of our honesty, and we shall do the same for you. I am the god of guardians. I am the god of oaths. I am the god of those that defend and risk themselves for others. I respect the choices that you make, Delbert. That you hurt doing what you've had to do to achieve justice is a mark of the person you are inside and helps you set high in the esteem of we three. Speak to Jenabink. She will show you gateways into how to speak to us. And he reaches up and he passes his hands over your eyes and suddenly you're staring. Okay, so you see the same thing happen to Delbert. He comes in looking at the wall and he just gets completely and totally paralyzed. Penny, what are you doing? PJ, you hear talking, all right? From your
What?
friends.
Oh, like they're just talking to themselves?
Yeah, and Catapult's down by you, and Catapult just stopped moving.
I look over at Penny, and I'm like, you do have the seal to get us out of here, right?
I do, but like they're like all slack jawed and like talking to themselves. I even tried the thing with you where I hit Genevieve in the face and like nothing. She just still sitting there.
Didn't you do it multiple times, right?
Genevieve, Delbert, you both come to. Genevieve, there's a stinging sensation on your left cheek, right below your eye.
I don't. So I was talking to avatars of deities. What happened physically while I was doing that?
See, I
You
told
were-
you that wall is like weird.
Okay, so there's a shrine apparently on the other side of that wall. So we should probably figure out if there's a secret door. And Jenabink, as she's saying this, starts to look for a secret door or something.
Why don't you just smash down that wall or something?
I'd rather not do that. I could hurt the shrine. If there's a secret door, then I'd rather utilize that.
Oh, I didn't think you were big into the whole like holy hocus pocus stuff, you know. But
Well, I mean, admittedly, I'm not really big into the intervention of deities into my personal life, but in this case, it seems like a good counterbalance to the Egg of Coot being a horrible thing.
okay. All right. Well, I'll help you look for a door if that's what you're trying to find.
That is indeed what I'm trying to find.
All
So
right.
I'll assist her in investigating.
Go ahead and so you get to make that roll with advantage. Because when Penny and Genebink are searching for something, they're going to find it.
Double ones.
Am
All
I
right,
also
so
coming out of this?
yeah, you came out at the same
Chance?
time. I'm sorry, Delbert, you did. So it was
Okay.
you and Genebink sort of stepped out of it at the same time. So you
Then
get
likewise.
all right. So you're all going over this in detail. It's got the stone laminate. You are absolutely certain that there's solid rock behind this, and that there's not a that there's not uh, a secret door of any way, shape, or form. You're not finding any mechanism. The sounds are perfect. There is a layer of laminate rock, a type of marble actually, over top of the wall, and solid rock on the other side. You are both convinced. I'm not going to make you make an Arcana check. That it's the purest vein of the black rock that houses the magic of Blackmoor that you've encountered is probably right behind this wall, just based on the physical sensations that you're having and what happened to you. All right, and Penny, after you touch it, I mean, for the briefest second, all right, you do see a faint sort of white light as you're touching it. You know, you're. Go ahead and give me. You can go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
All right.
I'm going to walk up to that hallway.
Hang on a second. Holy shit, Penny! You think you're actually seeing the magic in the same way that you've heard Delbert and Genebink describe it to you. You think that you're faintly seeing the emanations of the magic, and that's never happened to you, but they've described it to you as they're doing searches, Genebink especially. All right, go ahead, Jen.
I'm going to go up to this hallway up here and see where this extends out to.
You got it. Let me adjust my map a little bit and get myself in mask mode.
I'm gonna try and interact with it, Tad, if I can.
Describe what you mean by interacting with it.
Like you said, I can see it like emanating off the stone, the magic.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna try and like touch at it and stuff because this is weird.
It sticks to your hand. It clings to you. So, and you hear a voice, and the voice says, "Come to us, brother, or come to us, sister. We have gifts for you." I keep misgendering Penny. Sorry about that.
That's all good.
So I'm going to investigate and try to open the door that I'm in front of without Penny around.
The one to the south of you?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
I will investigate first since I've learned Penny's lessons for her.
Oh, door's fine. Nothing there.
I'm going to open it.
It's locked.
I'm going to unlock it.
Unlock it, please.
I have those tools.
Pops right open for you.
Fantastic. What do I see?
You see room with what looks like. Go ahead and give me your perception's high enough and your intelligence is high enough. That looks like smashed pews. Looks like this might have been a little chapel of some sort. And
Is my detect magic still going, or did it get knocked out?
it is, and you can see that white light emanating from this wall also.
Okay, so I will move into the room, and I'm going to continue searching for any kind of door, what have you.
Go ahead and make an investigation check. Hang on. What are the rest of you doing?
Seeing Genebink move toward the wall there inside the other room, using my detect magic, I'm going to come around and see what she's looking at
All right. So,
firsthand.
Catapult is moving with you now and follows, I imagine.
Yeah.
Idris, what are you doing?
I'm following them, but I'm getting my healing gauntlets on for them. They're all acting a little strange.
Go ahead and roll. Hold it. We did. Yeah, you've got the same sort of situation before, Genebink. And go ahead and roll with advantage because you've got help, so you can roll a second die here. I'm going to assume that while you're surging it, the other people roll up to help you. Same sort of
Yes.
situation. You are pretty certain that there's solid rock on the other side of it. Down on this end, all right, it's not as solid, all right? There's, thickness of wall, but you're not finding any sort of mechanism or anything that would tell you that that's permeable, that there's a door through it.
Okay. I'm going to leave the room and go out to the hallway, like doing the.
How are you going to the hallway?
I'm gonna go back through the door I opened.
So we're gonna go all the way out to the top up here.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to open. I forgot we had not opened this door to the east.
All right.
I will investigate it and open it first.
I'll assist Genevieve if it looks like she's looking at this door.
Go right ahead and do so.
All right, I will roll with advantage then.
This door has been barricaded. You can pop it open, but go ahead and well, you're just gonna know. You remember that there are rocks piled up on the other side of this door. When you guys look down when all of you look down the hallway here, you saw that pretty much all the doors were barricaded, right? So you remember that as you're checking it out. You're like, oh yeah, Penny told us that the doors were barricaded into here. So there's definitely some stone.
So I'm gonna scratch that plan, and I'm gonna go down to the southern side of that room and see if there's any weak spots in the rock or if there's anything different.
You're checking the wall here too?
Yeah, the wall, the north wall.
All right. Go ahead and make your roll.
I will assist her in this process.
All right, go right ahead. Make it with advantage then. All right. You've got the same exact situation. That spot right there seems like it might be a little thinner, but there is no like doorway or anything to get through it.
Okay, so Penny, this wall, like this side of it here, to the right is a little thinner, but like if mathematically speaking, on the other side of the wall, because my spatial perception is amazing, on the other side of the wall to the south of the room that we were in with the pews, that side was also thin. So theoretically, maybe the wall that would be to the far right there in that hallway that had the rocks might possibly be like at the thinnest point, and possibly that would be the entry. So, but we'll have to go all the way up and around because of the rock piles. Does that make sense?
Yeah, isn't there like a door right in front of you, though?
Is there a door right in front of me?
There's a door right to your right, yeah.
Okay, I will try to check out that door then.
Yeah. Maybe we can open that door and like not have to go all the way around.
Sometimes I get a little fixated. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's barricaded, but you don't think it has the same sort of material or as much material against it. The other door actually had a slight bow to it. This one does not. It seems more like it might be wedged a little bit than barricaded in the same way. And this is definitely a different door than the other ones that you've seen too. It's a little bit more ornate. Give me a religion check, please. Okay. Etched above the doorway, etched in a ring above the doorway, is the symbol of Henrin, and you recognize it immediately.
So can I try to open the door?
Absolutely, you can try to open the door. Go right ahead.
I will try to open the door. What do you want me to roll for that, if anything?
How are you trying to open it?
I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna progress like a normal person would. I'm going to try knob, and then if that doesn't work, I probably will employ a little percussive maintenance.
It's going to require some percussive maintenance. You have a really short crowbar that, in my old trade we referred to as a wonder bar. You think it's a matter of leveraging the door and getting it to pop open. Penny, you concur. Based on what you're seeing, it's just a matter of getting the door to spring. So go ahead and you can make a... Oh, wow.
I'll make that roll unless you have a problem with that.
Not at all. I think that the two of you working together... and you can make a second roll. I was going to give you advantage because there's space for two small creatures. You're both small creatures, right? Two small creatures to hit it. So, yeah, you absolutely are able to pop this open. As a matter of fact, you figure out using a chisel and with precise strikes, you can get the wedges to fall back out. And there's stuff leaning against it, but it's not a ton of stuff. So you should be able to pop this door open and not have things fall on you from the other side.
Fantastic. I do so.
All right. So, you opening the door?
I am.
Everyone's where they are then?
Oh, Catapult would have come with me again.
All right.
Poor Catapult.
All right. So
Whenever Tad asks, everyone's where they are.
we know it's bad.
knowledge metagaming says Jen's about to take hit points, right? All right. You pop open the door, and there's illumination in here. You can see as you look out there a whole bunch of candles sitting on. Who's been in a votive candles? So who's been in a Catholic church?
Well, Eastern Orthodox, close enough.
Yeah.
Who's been to a wedding?
So been to a wedding. So who's been in an Episcopal church? So it's a bunch of votive candles, and it looks very much like it's a display. And the candles are burning in perfect order, and the air smells heavy with incense.
I will. I'm going to walk into the room to try to figure out what's in the room, but I'm not really planning on walking further than that location.
Let me show you the room. And it's lit. That's what you see. Huge, gorgeous temple. It's been damaged pretty profoundly, though.
So, and I'm just asking for timing wise, is my detect magic still up?
Yes, your select magic. Well, hang on. What's the duration on that? What's the concentration limit on it?
I think it's like 10 minutes.
I want to say it's 10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, you've lost it then.
Yeah, it is. All right. Would I have... No, I would know that the shrine that they were talking about is still north and west of me, yes?
Yes, absolutely you would know that.
Okay. So I'm going to try to open the door to my north. I'm not going into the temple further.
All right.
We'll move to her side and assist her.
Give me a religion check.
Oh, no.
I will not assist her with the religion check.
There's a prayer you need to speak to open this door. It's written above the door. It's obvious to you. Obvious to you what you have to do.
I will do as I have to do. I will say whatever prayer it is.
The door swings open.
And then I'm going to check out this wall to my east, or my west, rather.
Behind you, a dog seems to form, and it barks once as you step through the door, and it plunks up towards you, and it sits down on its haunches and looks up at you.
Can I get a knowledge religion or knowledge something for significance of temple dog things?
Go right ahead.
Hearing a bark.
Um,
I think we should probably catch up with wherever they went.
Henrin, quite often, Henrin's the god of the watch, the god of guardians, correct? That temple dog is celestial imbued spirit committed to defending this temple. And it sees you and steps forward and drops back on its haunches, panting.
I will approach the dog because, you know, I don't know I don't know what the proper form of address is for a canine, but did you need something, or are you here to instruct me in something?
I'll scratch under its haunches if it lets me.
The dog's all about that. And the dog turns around and it walks back towards this statue. And as it fades into the statue, a table appears in front of you here. And the table is covered in amazing food. Amazing. It looks like it might be a feast fit for heroes. Go ahead and make an Arcana check. Yeah, yeah. This is some potent magic. This is a hero's feast, and it's got some positive effects for y'all.
Oh, I will, knowing that, I will dig in. Guys, I think this is good for us. It's not quite arcane science. It's more that divine stuff. But in my research, I've found things about this, and this should be beneficial for us.
Coming around, are you?
No, absolutely not. Arcane science is still superior. However, in order to understand how it's superior, I still have to, understand the lesser magics.
Anybody carrying any sort of disease is cured of it. And believe it or not, from our encounter in the, there were a couple of you carrying some diseases already, but you're cured
Any
of them.
sort of disease?
Idris is great.
Because Idris is carrying a special sort of disease.
He
I
got purged of
can't carry this. Yeah,
He
I
got
can't carry diseases at a certain level.
He got purged of lycanthropy by the Cabal, so he's good.
Oh, okay.
All right, everybody roll 2d10. That's how many hit points you heal.
What if you're already full hit points?
It feels great.
To
It's a good meal.
explode. Hey, can we reset the map on the stream?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me get that set for you.
And now, magically, you'll see the votive candles.
All right, you are in, and let me show you now that you're all in here. Let me show you the entire complex.
Since we're sitting and eating, can we call this a short rest?
You may call it a
As
short
well.
rest. It takes an hour to consume this rest, to consume this food, and a short rest is a great way to describe it.
Then I shall also.
Let's-
Hey, perfect.
Damn, Delbert was down a lot of hit points, huh?
We got jacked that last fight.
I'll also take time during the rest to cast mending once on catapult.
Do so.
Is that a chest over there?
All right, you can see into these other, looks like antechambers off to the side. All right, but it's a solid hour of eating. All right, and so I mean, you get you also get wisdom saves with advantage for the next hour. All right, after you eat it.
Isn't it the next 24 hours?
Is it next 24 hours? Okay, it's the next 24 hours. So
And we're also immune to poison and being frightened.
absolutely, you are all. So Jen popped open the spell. Good deal.
Hey,
Now's the time to go kill that spider lady.
Wow.
Allies.
All right. So if you eat this meal, all right, and it's fantastic. And you can see that there is a statue of Temple Guard Dog, all right, and the creature faded back into it. So, all right, what would you all like to do? You finished eating it. You've taken your short rest.
Did we get that room open that had the pew? The one to...
yeah, I would want to still go back up and try to open up the... Are there doors there for that?
Are you going to eat it or no?
Yes, we will eat it, Weird Al.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right, so you eat the meal. Now what would you like to do?
I was going to go back up here.
Yeah, to that room, that one we were trying to get into.
Yeah.
All right. There is a podium very similar to the one that you were standing for in your dream. And Delbert, you recognize it too when you get eyes on it. And there are a series of benches, and you can see incredibly pure. Those lines there aren't the laminate. You see incredibly pure black rock. The black rock that rests at the root of Blackmoor.
Wow. I'm definitely going to take the time to observe it closely since I've probably never seen any that's this pure.
Yeah, you've never seen anything that pure. Absolutely. You looking at it straight up, or you casting detect magic again?
Um, yeah, let's do the detect magic thing.
Roger that.
Definitely seems like a good idea.
As soon as I see Delbert go into ritual mode, I will too go into my better ritual mode.
All right.
While they're doing their 10 minutes, I'm gonna check out that statue.
That is a statue of Henrin.
All right.
I'm gonna try and see if I can see the magic-y stuff without casting detect magic again.
You cannot where you're standing right now. You're right in front of the door, right? It's like almost right there. It's the feeling you had touching the wall. You're having outside in the hallway. Your hair standing on end, right? It's definitely you're definitely being touched. So
I'll move into this room then.
are you gonna put your hands on the wall, or are you just gonna stand there?
I'll put my hand on the wall. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. You could all of a sudden see the milky whiteness going over your hands, over your head, and behind you, you hear scratch, 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 and from chalk, and you see Delbert almost going through what looks like a martial arts kata as he proceeds to bring the magic into focus so he can see it. All right, I'm going to give PJ a chance here to talk through some things and work on some things.
Cool.
All right, PJ. That's a statue of Henrin. What else are you doing?
I'm actually just walking around the room. I see there's a dog statue. I see some bones. There's a big statue of what is that? A lady? Kalima from Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom with all the skulls around her neck.
No, that's a Temple of Henrin. It looks like there's been fights in this room over time. Go ahead and give me a nature check.
One of my favorite skill checks of all time.
I hear you.
Shazam!
Oh wow, that actually, from the looks of things, that's a human skeleton of some way, shape, or form. When you're looking at it, you can see that it's got spurs on its bone. Something's wrong with it, but it's a human schedule, no doubt about it. It doesn't have the same sort of, and you rolled really well, PJ. Doesn't have the same sort of bone structure that a high Thonian does. Looks like it's probably a Thonian, a little bit more pronounced ridge on its forehead, and its cheekbones aren't as high, aren't as deep. The proportions are a little off, but it looks like a Thonian skeleton smashed here, and you can see that it was in a robe of some sort. It wasn't wearing armor, but totally like broken bones, shattered, smashed skeleton.
I'll dig through the robe.
It's clothes. Doesn't seem
Cool.
to be anything of value. So,
the dog statue, does it have any markings on it or anything?
dog steps out, sits down in front of you, pants, and
What's that, girl? Delbert's trapped in a well?
it looks up at you, and you hear a voice in your head. Oh, Hirsch thinks you're special. Hirsch thinks you're the best, doesn't he? So,
Well, I mean, nobody throws dice like Idris.
so Idris, are you are Harthonian, are you not?
The highest of the high.
So, I think I know your father is bad. Is your father bad?
It depends on what day you catch him, but yeah,
I can
good percentage of the time.
I can bite him to death if you need me to.
What, as yourself, as a wolf?
So, oh, I am not a wolf. Wolf are creatures of meat, bone, and sinew. I am a temple dog of Henlin. I am made out of spirit and his will.
I mean, that sounds a little unjust. just to like pop out and maul him to death. I mean, right?
I did not know Hirsch troubled himself with justice. I thought he let the dice fall where they may.
Well, we let the dice fall where they may, but that doesn't mean our dice aren't, special. Or we don't know how to use some wrist action to get what we want. But we're not supposed to outright just cheat everybody. Supposed to do what you can and then give back. You know?
Do you know that Odir will speak to you today? And Henrin will speak to you today? And Sakwin will speak to you today? Do you know that?
I do not.
You need to think on who you are and what you want to be, Idris. You need to think on that. Because you do not want to be found wanting by these gods.
Well, I mean, these gods, if I remember correctly, they have their own codes. They just don't go around striking people down, you know. And should they change that, wouldn't people lose faith in them? I mean, how do we even know that's who they are? You know, I've met some powerful beings. They're not nice people.
You must make the decisions that you need to make as the day unfolds before you. I will say, I have heard you speak and heard you work through here with your friends and have sat waiting for you to come, and it is good to see you all and finally meet you. But you should go find your friends and make certain they are okay. You do not want to miss the fun things that will happen to them today.
Did fun things happen to this guy over here? And I pointed the guy on the ground.
Oh, he attempted to steal from the temple and I broke him.
Good to know. As Idris puts in the back of his mind, yeah, good to know. I was going to take some of those votive candles to reduce some costs in my wedding, but not anymore. And I will, hang on, rotate and keep my front at all times towards the dog and slowly back up.
Dog disappears into the
And I'm looking at all these people like ritually casting and like touching, feeling the walls, and I'm just like, this is what the dog told me not to miss out on.
Penny. It's like the whole universe hums, right? It's like you hear music. It's like, you know, you've lost people and they're standing right with you and they have your hands on your shoulders. And you hear it's okay. You didn't fail us. You did everything you could to help us. And then you hear a little girl's voice say, I know, Penny, that if you could have saved all of us, you would have saved all of us. It's not your fault. You did absolutely the best you could. You were willing to die for us to try and get us out. It's okay. And then, hear another voice, older man that you worked with and you tried to save. Farmer. All right, incredibly brave, had no skills really to be able to fight, but was willing to sacrifice himself for others. And you'll hear him say, girl, everything you are, everything you've done proves to me that your folk be true, and you are the truest of them all. You need to forgive yourself for the things that you couldn't do and respect the things that you could. We're waiting for you on the other side of the door, and when you step through, you're going to be welcomed amongst us, is the one that was willing to give up it all to try and save us. And don't forget the ones you did. Me boy lives because of what you did. And then you hear another voice, older woman, the cry woman, someone that's dear to you, who taught you a lot. Oh, little dearie, I know you be hating yourself, but it's okay. It's okay. There's a path forward for you. You just have to let go of the hurt, let go of the hate, and just be who you're meant to be. You deserve to be loved, and you deserve to love others. Let the darkness go. And then, Penny, All of a sudden, your eyes clear and you step back away from the wall. All right, so we finished casting our detect magics. Would the two of you like to make wisdom saving throws with advantage? Penny, anything you want to say? Any reactions you had to that, or are you just holding that inside you?
Penny is actually backing away pretty rapidly from that.
Scared backing away?
No, just like hesitant of that.
All right, so you've given a
That
physical
wall,
sign.
that wall of lies.
That Penny deserves some advantage, I have to say. So go ahead and take an inspiration because that is a perfect in character response from you. Go ahead and make insight checks. And you made your wisdom save. I've got it documented. I want to see some insight. Oh my God, something's really. Genevieve, you are focused on the casting. You're focused on the magic. You're focused on the white light. Delbert, you're doing what you do to cast, and you bring the magic into play, and you see, Penny step back, and Penny has this look on her face. It's not quite revulsion. It's definitely not fear. It's uncertainty. It's a sense of dismay, concern. One of the things that you know about Penny is Penny's certain. All right, Penny holds things inside of her. She makes decisions and she moves. And you've never seen Penny actually, to give you all context, you've never actually, way to burn 20s on all your skill checks, by the way, today, folks. Something's definitely going on with Penny. All right, she's seems spiritually shaken. Penny's not afraid of anything, but she's definitely reconsidering something. All right, Genevieve, you go ahead and make your saving throw. All right, you did, didn't you?
I did. As a matter of
Okay.
fact, I gave the advantage, and I also gave myself Flash of Genius on it.
So, standing in front of you, sitting in front of you, are Penryn and Saquon and O'Dear. And you're both standing side by side. And O'Dear says, "So, will others be joining us?"
I mean, Penny was right next to us. I assume she was here already, but I don't know that they can do what we do with the casting of arcane sciences.
Hold out your hand and see if she'll touch it.
I will hold my hand in the direction that I think Penny was.
Penny, you see Genevieve sort of turn towards you, and there's this pale glow, pure white light coming from her eyes, and she holds her hand out towards you. What do you do?
That was the same white light that was like coming from the stones and stuff, where I just had that whole happy, fun place vision.
Absolutely.
I don't think Penny will be joining them.
I tell Penny, I'm like, look, Penny, it can't be that bad. Look, I saw this in a play once. There were these two gnomes, right? And they were driving a wagon across, the dusty lands of Hack. And they just knew they had to go for it. And they just grabbed each other's hands and held it up. And they told those horses to go for it. And they went for it. And I think the decision you're making here might be a right one because they drove off a cliff. And it was pretty terrible.
Yeah, there's stuff with the stones, and there's not good things in the stones.
And I think it would be more funny if I grab her hand, and I grab her hand.
It's Idris. And Idris, go ahead and make a religion check.
I rolled history, but it's the same result.
You're not totally certain, but you're thinking these are probably, like, that looks like it could be O'Dear, and that looks like it could be Saquon, and maybe that's Henrin.
That dog, what I thought I was just high.
So, Penny's back and pulled away. The three of you together. And Saquin says, is this all that wish to treat with us then?
Like, just a minute. And then I reach my hand, since I'm still next to her, and I'm just groping for Penny.
Penny, come on. All for one for all.
All right. Idris, you can make a to hit roll with disadvantage. All right, because Penny's very much about can't touch this. Nah. So,
Yeah? Okay. I got you. But don't worry. When this nat 20 comes out,
He's going to be burning inspiration, hero points.
no way. No way. This is at -5. This roll. All right, here we go.
Penny, you see Idris sort of like doing this towards you. All right, trying to put his hand on you, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
See, Matt knows there's going to be good things from this interaction, but Penny doesn't want this. Penny doesn't want this. Why?
Penny, make an insight check. Idris has no ill intent as he's trying to touch you.
Penny will not be joining them.
All right. The three of you are standing in front of Saquin. You're standing in front of Henman. You're standing in front of O'Dear. And O'Dear says, you stand in our presence. The rock that wraps you, the rock that is in front of you, can function as a direct conduit for us at times into other spaces and places and times, into wheres and whens that are not always easy to reach. So we may answer, we may not tell. We will give you each a chance to ask us 3 questions. And we will answer those questions for you as best we are able. Henman, and it's 1 question for each from each of you. All right. Henman understands what it is to ward, what it is to guard, what it is to make sacrifice, what it is to place oneself at risk based on an oath to protect others. Saquin is the goddess of the arts martial. She knows how to dance the dance and to do it in such a way that as little harm is done as possible and goals are achieved. I am the All-Father. The world hums because I crafted the sacred runes and brought it into existence. We 3 will answer questions from each of you. 1 for each of us. 3 total. What would you know?
I'm going to switch places with Shia because she's smarter than me.
She is not hanging.
GM's cheating my cheat. I tried, Mr. Egg. I tried.
All right.
I got to go for the movie reference here. I'll lean in close and say, "What ails this place, old man?"
Is that legitimately your question?
Yeah, he said it.
What
Remember
ails
the
this
rules,
place?
Ted.
Yes.
To O'Dear?
Yes.
It hatches something.
All out of questions. So let's see if the smart one has anything.
There's 2 questions I want to ask so badly, and I know that I only get 1. I'm going to hope Idris is smart. So I'm going to ask the question I really want answered, which is there are all these constructs here, and I know that they were made in a horrible way, and I only want to make more constructs so that we can safely do whatever we need to do in this place. So is there a way for me to safely use the constructs in a really productive way and have my small army of robots to help me beat back the Coot?
Who are you asking? Odir, Saquin, or Henrin?
I would ask Henrin.
Aye. There is. Find the truth in what you read in your research. There is a path for you to find justice in what you've asked.
I really hope that avatars can't make insight rolls.
So we each get one question. Is that what I heard?
You each get 3 questions. You each get one
Okay.
question for each god. So you've used yours for Odir. Jenabink has used one for Henrin. They each have areas of expertise. You will not get the same answer, obviously, from each of the gods as you ask a question.
You said Henrin is protection, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
Henrin's,
gonna ask my question to Henrin. Is there a way to protect ourselves if we die from becoming marked, like those in the dungeon? And I look very pissed off at like the other 2 smart people in the room,
so
asking their personal questions.
you're asking, is there a way to avoid being? You're asking about the marks, right?
Yeah.
So okay. Everything has a trade-off. Everything has a cost. The longer you rest within, the easier it is to survive and to function within here, the more likely it is that you will be subsumed into this space. So, yes, there is a way, but there is a profound cost.
Okay. What's Odir do again? He's
Odir made the universe, man.
please. Probably took him like 6 days.
Hold it. Hold it. Penny, the temple dog, walks right up to the gateway, right up to the door in front of you, and it's looking directly at you.
I will scratch on underneath its jaws again.
It headbutts you. Make a strength check, please.
Oh, there's my animal handling.
This was your chance to make him a one-handed archer.
You get butted back against Jenabink.
That was an animal handling. There's my strength check.
Dude, this is a celestial, not an animal. Oh, your strength check's even worse. Okay, so
Yeah.
it headbutts you, all right, and you bounce back up against Idris.
You tried to force religion on Penny, and this is what happens. I just want you to know that. The gods smote you.
All right, so what's Penny doing?
Well, we need you to finish your statement because you didn't finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in full dab mode.
Oh, am I like? Oh, all right. Sorry about that.
You're good now, but
Okay, cool. What was the last thing y'all heard from me?
the dog
You get
headbutts
pushed
me.
back
It's
and-
worse. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And it says, you need you need to go be with your friends. There's much you can learn. Go play. Go play. And you get that let's go chase the stick together in the park vibe off the dog. All right? It's absolutely benign, and you're just wrapped in its sense of happiness. But your friends are in front of you, standing in front of these pedestals, and there are Penny sees the world as things to be shot and not shot, correct?
No. It's not like Penny thinks everything needs to die. Just, all the injustices in the world that have wronged her personally.
Well, there are potential targets that need to be evaluated in your flank.
What do you? Oh, with the dog. Yeah.
There we go.
You're right. And you hear behind you. So, Penny, I see my pet decided you should come join us, huh?
Yeah. I guess it kind of just shoved me. I mean, I guess that's kind of how you guys do the whole religion thing. So normally, like at a younger age, right? When you normally like force it on people.
And you hear a female voice say, "It's always about choice." Absolutely. So, but I'm sorry if you did not want to be here. I would not have forced you. I believe Henrin has other priorities, though. So, what do you fear from us, Penny?
What do I fear from? I mean, there's just really nothing to be gained from talking to you folks.
Hang on, I have to give me a second to formulate how the gods are going to respond to this. Odir steps off his throne, and he walks up to Penny, and he puts his hands on on your shoulders, and he looks directly down into your eyes. Do you let him touch you?
I'm gonna like avoid the touching. I prefer if you don't put your hands on me. Like I'm just saying.
And he drops down on one knee, and he looks directly into your eyes, and he says, "I am sorry. I am sorry the world has hurt you. I am sorry your heart is broken. I am sorry it is hard for you to trust. I am sorry that the place that I crafted is filled with evil, and that I have not been able to make everyone safe and protected. I am sorry. But you are capable of more than what you limit yourself to, Penny. There are simple choices you need to make, and I will support you in those choices, and I will be behind you to support you. And it is your choice, your choice. Do you walk with us in the light, or do you stand in the darkness of your own pain? And are there things that can be done that benefit you? Are there potential rewards for you? Yes, but those things are not important. At the end of your life, you are the sum of your deeds. They're the things you felt and the things that you've done. The gift I would give you is an awareness that you can be more than you are now, and the choice is yours. I wish you healing. I give you my blessing." And he stands back up, and he goes back, and he sits in his thrones, and he says, and then Hedron says, Penny, is Penny your real name?
I mean, is Henry your real name?
No, Tad's asking you.
That's the only name she's known. Was it her birth name? Probably not.
All right. So, he says a word in decry, all right, which means, joy, all right, and he says that to you. He says joy to you in decry, the name your mother gave you. We stand together here. You may ask 3 questions, one from me, and I know about protection. I know about justice. And Odir says, I made the world. You may ask 1 question of me. And Sakwin says, I know the dance. I know how to find the straightest path to the least amount of damage. I know how to protect. I know how to ward. I know how to solve with the least risk and the least harm. You may ask 1 question of me.
Ted, I have a question for you.
Sure thing, man. Shoot.
All right. Is there a way to disconnect from this? Like, does Penny have awareness of her body to pull away from the people in contact with her?
Are you going to attempt to?
Yes.
All right. Give me a wisdom save. You don't get advantage on this wisdom save.
Okay.
You can't.
I will attempt to use a hero point. So that's how Matt rolls.
All right. You are able to snatch your hand away from Idris. All
As
right.
I'm pulling away, though, I do want to look directly at Oh Dear. I don't have any questions for you guys, but I do got an answer. You asked if I choose your light or the darkness. I choose the darkness, and then I pull away from them.
Oh, outstanding. So you may immediately make a wisdom save, a charisma save, or a intelligence save of your choice. Keep in mind how many times you have fallen to the darkness, and I need you to make one right now.
Nice. I'll put it in there. I'll even put it in the tower for you, Tad, so I don't know.
It's like you rolled a 1. You'll need to do it again.
Did you choose to roll wisdom? That's your worst stat, isn't it?
No, that's my best.
Oh, it's your. Oh my God! Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, do that. Man standing next to you, tall, thin. So, do you want to come with me now, then, Penny? Probably the best path for you right now. I mean, I think you've made a very wise decision walking away from these folks because all they're going to do is attempt to define you on their terms. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to do anything that is in your best interest. They're only going to do things that are in their best interest and attempt to use you as a tool, a pawn, right? You know that. So I think you've made a very wise decision. Reject that. What you need to find is you need to find the best way to get what you need. And, I can show you how to do that. And I don't want anything from you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. All I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a gateway in your heart for you to achieve everything you possibly can for yourself. That's all. You want to destroy injustice in the world? We can do that. We can remake the world so everything has a place, everything has order, everyone is safe. All they have to do is comply. All they have to do is what you and I and others think is the right thing to do. And it is the right thing to do. It'll help them be better. It'll help them be stronger. We'll have no more lies. We'll have no more deception. We'll have no more murder. We will have perfect and absolute order. And you'll help shape that. I'm going to bring you into my fold in a way that you can be who you need to be, and we can bring safety to the people who deserve it. So come on.
Yeah.
Penny, right now, this is one of the best things you've ever heard. Anything you want to do? Anything?
Yeah. Here's where you're confused too. Just because I rejected them, don't mean I'm going to join you. The way I see it, you're all just a bunch of assholes trying to push people in one direction or another. So you can fuck off too, bud.
You're unconscious.
Right.
And you now have been marked by, you also have a mark. You're hearing the coot, the coot, the coot, the
So
coot.
I got exposed to the darkness again?
Oh, yeah. You got exposed to darkness again. So,
I'll add that to my notes.
yes. And Penny falls back unconscious. Sakwin puts her face in her hands, and starts to cry. All right. Henrin shakes his head.
I immediately hold Delbert and Jenna back. I'm like, don't ask them what's going on.
All right. And Odir says, we all make choices in our lives. You have questions. Ask.
Well, I mean, the other question I wanted to know, and especially since Idris yelled at me for asking my personal question, was I am curious about this energy flow in the dungeons. Ignoring the whole what happened with Penny thing, I'm trying to put that out of my mind because, focus. But yes, energy, rock. We seem to kill things, and that energy goes back to the rock. So are we just fueling things for the worse by killing everything down here?
Who do you ask?
I'm asking Sokwin.
So,
I'm sorry to interrupt the cryingness, by the way.
so she sits her head forward and she goes, what hatches must be fed. And all potent emotion is harvested within this place. Sadness, joy, murder, love, passion, all's harvested and drawn within that process of growth, transformation, and incubation. You feel the room shake. All right, there's a vibration in the ground, almost like an earthquake, and Odir says, "We must hurry."
I ask Odir, who created the portals that we've seen that are either active or smashed?
The egg. There's one portal to the true Blackmoor that was created when this, and he says a word you can't translate, was made. All others are the work of the egg. All right, PJ, you still have a question left?
Yeah, I got my last question for Sakwin.
All right, go ahead.
Should we eliminate everyone who has the mark in here?
If they show no remorse and attempt to harm you or others, pass judgment as you must.
So
then I just go and I'm like, deuces.
So what?
You're gone. You fade.
Oh yes, got disconnected. All right.
You fade, and Penny's laying there on the ground with blood running from her nose, blood running from her ears, blood running from her mouth.
I look down at her and I've got just the medicine as I get out my healing glove.
All right. Let's see. Jenabink, I believe you have one question left for, is it Henrin, correct?
I asked one of Henrin, I asked one of Sokwin, I have one for Odir, I suppose.
One for Odir. And Delbert, you have one left for, two left, one for Henrin and one for Sokwin, correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
What is Sokwin's spheres of influence again?
She's very much, in this instance, she's described herself as a direct path to the best solution with at least a lot of harm. Jimmy just lagged. Did everybody lag? Everybody lagged.
Yep.
We're having connection funk again.
I think it's just you.
I think it was you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
My question.
Good now.
My question to you, Ted, was: Did Idris fade out after he asked his last question?
He did.
Okay. I'm going to motion to Delbert to ask his question.
Okay. I'm spacing on the names of Henrin. Yes. I will ask Henrin, what is the best way to protect ourselves from the influence the influence of the Kut and of this place as we travel deeper?
every time you fall, every time you sleep, every time you place yourself at moral risk, you open a gateway into your soul. The coot waits tenaciously for these opportunities, and he will step in and assault you. He will step in and try and turn you to the darkness. Limit your exposure to that risk.
Okay.
So, next question.
Does Dilbert fade?
Delbert has one question left, I think. Right?
Yes.
So, he's got a question for Soquin.
Yeah, I'm still formulating, but
The room
let's see.
shakes. The room shakes. You guys got to be. Odir says the coot is about to sever us from this plane. Ask your questions. He is sealing us off.
How can we, to Saquin, how can we reverse what the coot is doing here? What is the path that takes us to victory?
You must find the sigils for the lost champions, break the stones that house them, and deconstruct the mechanism that feeds the incubation. Then you must choose and confront one or the other. And on the other side of that decision, shape a new world. Perhaps not the one you expected, but one that will be better than the one you stand in now. And you fade.
Once I look around and make sure they have faded, I look at Odir. I know that I'm really bad with people, and I know that that whole thing went badly, but how can I help Penny?
Odir stands and walks over and holds you. All right. And he puts his hands on his head and he looks down in your eyes and he goes, simply have faith in her, continue to be good to her, and help her trust and love again. Her heart has been broken and it must be healed. She has opened herself to the influence of the darkness now, and I cannot touch her directly. She has rejected my aid. You must be the gateway into a better life and a better world and a better person for her. You can do that, Jenna Bink. You are truly kind. You are truly benign. And you have my respect and my love, child of my heart. And I will give you one more question.
I, Jen wasn't expecting that, so Jennevic is having just as many problems.
Roger that.
Can we trust the spiders?
The Aranea have interests that align with yours and interests that do not. They can be allies and some of them can be brought into the path of the righteous, but their world is wicked and their hearts are wicked. So be cautious, be aware, be as just as you can, little one. And he steps back from you. The room shakes a little bit, and then you stagger back. Everybody who just directly interacted with the gods in a benign and positive way has their clock stripped. You are no longer exposed to the coot in the same way. So your clock resets to 0 settings.
Boom! 7 more
Nice.
chances.
Yeah. Now, Idris, all right, it's been with you. The coot has been in your heart and in your soul. He's been touching you, cursing your dreams, torturing you. It's amazing to have that stripped away from you. It's amazing to no longer have that darkness wrapped and coiled around the inside of you. And I want you to make a charisma save right now.
Boom.
This is straight up just normal charisma save. You're being overcome with emotion right now.
Keep it together, Idris.
That's exactly what's going on. You almost dropped onto your knees and started praying and breaking out in tears. You can choose to do that if you want to, but you don't have to. You've been able to rein it in and control yourself. So, Jedabink, you got rid of that awful song.
Oh, I just say house always choose 7s.
And Delbert, the egg only touched you once, but you know it corrupted you. You can feel it now. You weren't aware of it before, but it laid power in front of you, and you wanted it. But you know that about yourself now, and you're able to step back and away. Uh, Penny is in a coma. And Penny, what the coot offered you, you're kind of living through right now, and it seems kind of more fantastic than you thought. Although, granted, the coot is a total asshole, and he definitely wants you, and he wants to dominate you, but you're fucking smarter than him. It's only a matter of time before you can figure out how to outwit him and take him down. Might be a path there for you to be the person in charge of the entire shooting match. And then you come back to, and your friends are standing over top of you. And I think this might be an outstanding place and point for us to take our break for this session. It is 4:40 right now. We will be back at 4:50. And thank you all for hanging out in our stream. I hope you've enjoyed what we're doing so far in the Dungeons of Castle Blackmoor. We'll be back in a little bit. And Uther once and always, folks. Hey, folks, we are back. Welcome back to the Dungeons of Castle Blackmoor. We're going to hop right back into it. And so the temple dog is standing inside the temple looking down at Penny, and it's radiating almost a sadness, right? And it's just turns its head down and walks back into the statue, and it fades from your view. Penny, you sit up. You feel filthy. You feel dirty. There's blood running from your nose, your ears, your eyes. You hurt. It's like something grabbed your bones and squeezed them and shook them. It's like there's something dark and wet coiled around the base of your brain. All right, and you hear laughter, and you hear a song. The coot, 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 pressing into the back of your brain, in the back of your consciousness, and it's there with you. You know he is. You can hear him. All right, everybody. The rest of you have been cleansed, purged from the influence of the egg of Coot, and are feeling not nearly as crappy as Penny feels right now. What are we all doing?
I'm because I just got booted. Checking on Penny. Is she standing? Is she still bleeding? Did Idris heal her with his healing glove?
Idris, what did you attempt to do to assist Penny?
She was bleeding, so I dropped, what do you call it? A point of healing into her.
All right, and that seems to clear it up. And that positive energy, as you flow, as you have the blessings of Hirsch play into Penny, we do find out that she can still accept healing from divine sources, and that's a good thing. So Penny comes up, her nose stops bleeding, although it crusts a little bit. Penny, you're awake. Jenna Bink Penny's waking up. She looks a little rattled. She looks a little upset. Pretty much like anybody who's had a bad experience with the Egg of Coot does. Delbert, what are you doing?
So does that count as a long rest for us?
Oh. Take inspiration for giving the DM a really outstanding idea. I will call that a long rest for you guys, because that is fantastic. Let me go trigger a long rest for you. So, well, actually, it's a long rest for everybody except Penny. So, long rest for everybody except Penny.
I'll mark off the one spell slot I had expended.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It wasn't going to be a huge deal for you. Although I did like saying, except Penny.
It is what it is. Sometimes you got to tell the gods to go fuck themselves.
Absolutely, and that was some fantastic role-playing by everybody sitting at my table. Thank you for that as your DM.
Except Penny.
No. Especially Penny. Given an opportunity, we talked about this a little bit while we're on break, but I'm going to say it in front of everybody. Watching an NPC, watching a player make decisions that are counter to the material benefit of a character, because it's the right role-playing decision, is always fantastic to watch. You knew there was a whole bunch of goodies sitting there if you chose to embrace it, but you wouldn't do it because it's not who your character was and it didn't make sense. And I respect that profoundly as a DM, and I just want to put that on the table. All that kind of nerding and geeking out, though. Let's go explore more of the Dungeons of Castle Blackmoor. What y'all want to do, folks?
I want to head back into the temple area, cast another, because I'm sure my detect magic is long gone, cast another detect magic and check out the temple with detect magic.
All right. Delbert?
Knowing that temple-wise, sanctity-wise, this place is not... they're being evicted, essentially. What I'm going to do is stone shape and pull some of this black rock out as a staff.
Inside the temple? Oh, man.
It's They've been evicted.
Wow. Pause while the DM considers that. Wow. Okay.
Does he still have his detect magic up?
No, it would have been definitely longer than.
And enjoy your corrupted by the egg of Coot staff. We're all going to enjoy killing you later on at about 10, 15 levels.
That's not entirely true.
Don't worry, Delbert. I'll be on your team.
Oh, while Penny was out, I did take the seal.
You can do it. You absolutely can do it. So you are going to make a staff.
How do I feel about this? Let's just ask. Is this something Delbert would be okay with? Because Jimmy, he's okay with it. I'm not sure where Delbert would land on it. I think he would probably think.
Oh! Make an Arcana check. Make a religion check. The rock is neutral.
Okay.
It could be used against you at some point, potentially, if somebody were able to infuse it, or if you didn't ward it. But more importantly, the first action you took after directly talking to your god Odir, his daughter Saquin, and the protector of the weak, Henrin, was to extract this stone rod, this stone staff, out of the wall of this temple, out of the wall of this space, and you can't help but feel that the gods are directing you in some way, shape, or form.
To do it?
Yep.
Then I will do it.
So, all right. So you
Out of character. The Arcane Inquisition is going to be like, give me that shit. Wow.
Oh, dear, gave it to me. What? All right.
F that guy. You know?
That is a Cabal answer. So you extract this stone out. So what we're going to do with it for now is we're going to treat it like quarterstaff. So you have a quarterstaff made out of the stone, stat it like that.
Okay.
You and I can explore other things that you can do with it to, make it magical if you want to, do other things with it, right? So you may have like your staff of the Magi that you're going to make eventually or something here. We'll figure that out, all right? So,
Cool.
All right, good enough. Genevink, you were walking in to take a look at everything with detect magic, right?
Correct. I was going to cast the ritual and then do a perimeter walk around the temple.
Okay. Both the statues are magical. And you've reached a point where you're no longer bothered by that background radiation in the same way you were before, right? It took a while, but you've reached a point where you can see the differences in the surface. You know how to oversee the background pulse of magic that's here all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a marked difference. The white light that was radiating from the black rock before is gone. All right, so you're not seeing that incredibly forceful emanation, so that's been sealed off in a way. But as you're looking in here, you can see that is magical. Those are magical. Looks like a series of continual flames. That is magical. And as you're looking into the other areas, I'm going to assume you're looking through the doors, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I would go into the... are they open doors or...
Yeah, they're open doors. They've all been
Then
popped
yeah,
open.
absolutely. I'm gonna pop into those rooms and do my perimeter sweep.
That looks like a melted statue of some sort. Physically melted.
Okay.
And then the rest of it looks like these were places where you could pray, right? That is definitely a statue of Saquin right there. And you think that was probably a statue of a deer, but it's melted.
Okay. And everything else in the temple is pretty normal.
Yeah, everything else is pretty normal.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check as you're walking around, though. You are pretty certain that evil things are going to have a hard time just stepping through this door, right? You're pretty certain it's going to be hard to do that. So
Okay.
there's some sort of ward here. You're not certain exactly which one.
And I'm assuming there's just a wall behind the large statue of Sakwan.
Yes, there is a wall. Let me show you all of that. Let me get it. So I will unmask it for you. Give me a second here. All right, is that clearer to you?
Nothing changed on my end.
All right, let me sync it.
Yeah, now it shows.
So reading through Stone Shape, I can be fairly precise with how I want it. How I want it to be shaped. It can make minor mechanical things like latches and stuff. So I'm going to have it have the symbols of Odir, Sakwan, and Henrin on this, throughout the staff.
Go ahead. Let's give yourself inspiration. That's brilliant. I fully support it as DM. Keep in mind that I am going to use some DM largesse. I am allowing you, without any sort of roll or any sort of intervention, craft this perfectly because it's cool. But in the future, the DM may dick with you a little bit with Stone Shape. Just be aware of that, okay?
Okay, fair enough.
All right. So you've actually gotten the DM's the kind and gentle inside voice because, oh my God, that was cool. All right. So I cast Smite on Kithrain in chat because he just referred to you as the Black Staff. All right. Okay, that's what you see. Now I'm going to segue back. Idris, what were you doing? Penny, what were you doing while this was happening?
Well, I tell them, don't take any items beyond the doors. And I'm like, still got some rooms we got to check out over this way.
Penny, how you doing? What you going to do? Besides
Muted.
unmute. And unmute again.
Still muted.
Oh, the whole thing.
Now you're good.
All right.
Man, they slapped the speaking out of her.
Penny will probably just take up watch in the hallway to avoid the holy area of badness.
Okay. PJ, you may take an inspiration for that being the best pun of the day.
Boom.
I was just about to say that's inspiration worthy right there.
See, that's crafting outside the game.
All right. Okay, so Penny's on point. All right, so you've checked everything out. What would you all like to do next?
Go back to those rooms we didn't check.
All right. So show me what that looks like and show me where you want to go.
Well, since Penny won't step through the holier than thou Henry area, we'll have to take the long way or bust the door. And or I guess we can move one of these and then bust the door. So I guess I'll go up there, move the stuff out of the way, and then have him try and open the door.
All right, good enough. Not a big deal to pull everything away. All right, it's you can make certain that you can just unpile the rock, get to the door. You're gonna have to unlock the door. That's the only thing.
I was like, okay. I was like, here you go, Penny. We quickly get in here and finish checking out these undead rooms.
Pops the door
No
right
more
open.
crazy. All right. So we can head back to that bedroom area.
So, Penny, can you really trust Idris? Seems like Idris only is out for himself all the time. Can you really trust him? All right. You are there. There's another door right in front of you here. What would you like to do?
Is it locked?
It is locked. Yes.
Cool. I'm like, tiny fingered people. This is your area of expertise. Got a locked door. Who wants to show whose skill is better than whose?
I will head in that direction, assuming that I've finished my perimeter sweep.
You had this was at the end of your perimeter sweep, no doubt about it.
I'm gonna check out this door to the north too as well. Actually, while we're
Oh, my bad. I skipped over that one. Sorry, my bad.
Go ahead. It's locked, but it doesn't appear to be trapped.
all right.
Door pops right open, Penny.
All right. I'll take a look inside.
All right. Looks like this room has been trashed at some point. Broken furniture, overturned books, shredded parchment. Might have been a library. Might have been a records room. But it has been completely and totally trashed. You're going to go around and dig around through it, or?
Yeah, I just threw an investigation in there for you.
All right. You're finding some fragments of manuscript, and all seems to be in common. It's Synthonian. And as you're going through it, it looks like it's records of who was imprisoned and when, and it's mostly trashed, but there's probably 24 pages of material that's still legible. So, all right. Did you open up the door for him, Jenna Bink?
I attempted to.
Well, you did. You
Fantastic.
did.
Then I did.
Yes, I'm sorry. I should have said, did you make your roll? All right. So that door pops open, and it looks like it is another room. It's a double bed in here. There's a long chest, and there's a table and chairs.
We're gonna ghetto hawk it.
All right. Proceed with the ghetto hawking. You guys can go ahead and make an investigation check with advantage because the two of you are working it. Because the group of you are working it together.
I'm assuming I'm making the roll then.
Please do.
Yep.
Several items in here. The chest is actually unlocked. On the table itself, there is a gold locket with a painted portrait inside, and it's a blonde-haired, probably Hythonian woman, and in a language you're not quite certain what it is. There seems to be a name inscribed on it, and it's going to be pretty valuable.
Please read me the name.
Go ahead and make a history check, both of you.
I'll use my evil patron powers to read.
Oh, you can read it. It's in Chael.
Oh yeah, I can read anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Chael. All right. So.
Oh yeah, I can read. I could actually read that.
Right.
What noble is this?
So it's Isabella Colwyn, and her family is minor nobles in Boggy Bottom, and this is she's actually probably in her early 40s now. So there's something wrong. You know, this looks like her when she was about 16 or 17. And it's, probably worth about 25 gold pieces. The portraits of her.
Just like the other Hythonian dude stuff that we found, I'll just take this and redistribute it back to their families.
So,
is it Coleman or Coldman?
Colwyn.
Colwyn. Oh, see, we never know where they are until we hear their name pronounced.
That's right. There's also a fine green cloak. There's a, exceptional green cloak, lined with velvet, dark, really rich, like dress cloak. Like you would pay 20, 30 gold pieces to have this physically made. Outstanding. And then some odd and end clothes. You find also a potion of healing tucked within the same chest. And then there is a bag with some gold mixed coins in it, mostly copper and gold.
Okay, we'll add it to the pile.
All right, and I will drop this over into the party sheet so you have it. All right, what would you like to do next? And I'm going to assume Penny gets back about the time you guys are done going through this room.
Yeah, tell her what we found in here, some stuff, locked and whatnot. I guess it's time to go visit Jenna Banks' former party house. Let's do it. Double doors.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right.
Or as it's been come to known, Banks' House of Death.
I would like to point out I did not die.
No, but there was dead things in it.
That is absolutely true.
All right. So, pop the doors open and step in. Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what you see. This looks like, as you step in, you examine it. This looks like it might have been chow hall, for lack of a better term. All right. There's a whole bunch of smashed tables. There's a few tables that are intact. There's a big pile of bones, and you can see teeth marks on them already from a distance. And then back behind, there looks to be what is a wood stove, a sink, place to prepare food. So this really looks like it was where the guards fed and the food was processed for the prisoners.
This is a great place to check for stuff. So check out that kitchen, dig around in some bones,
I'm going to check out the doors on the right side.
They are locked.
I'm also taking a moment to stand and listen and hear if I hear any thuds, beating of doors, that kind of thing.
You can go ahead and make a perception check. Yeah, you don't hear anything here. You're not hearing anything smashing. You're not hearing anything.
Okay. And then I'll investigate the door that I'm in front of.
Doesn't appear to be trapped. Is locked.
I will attempt to open it.
Blackstaff, what will you be doing?
Seeing this pile of bones and realizing that these were probably guardsmen at one point, it'll kind of dawn on Delbert that each of these were potentially people who came down here to do the same thing that we're doing, or alternately were here when it was taken over, and it kind of brings things into focus for Delbert a little bit. Having had that emotion, he's going to sit down and ritually cast detect magic,
Okay.
and also get his dark vision up.
Oh, very good call. Yeah, we can retcon that because it would be obvious to you couldn't see in the dark. So, all right, Penny, were you checking the other door?
Yeah, I'm checking this door to the south of Jennebank.
All right, you're good. Doesn't appear to be trapped. It is locked. You can unlock the door.
Yeah, I'll attempt to unlock the door.
You may have to ask Jennebank for help.
Jennebank, this door is locked. I think you need to break it or something.
I don't like breaking doors, Penny. But I'll certainly help you if that's what you need. Yep.
I agree. There's just no finesse in it.
Yeah, you pop it right open.
What do I see? Penny, there's a whole bunch of stuff in that other room. I didn't really get a chance to look at it. And there's stuff here too.
This room smells super moldy.
I will investigate it to see what is moldy.
All right, are you and Penny doing it together?
I don't know.
The moldy food room, probably not.
I will do it by myself then.
It's
Having said that,
Penny. She's so arrogant. You know, she thinks she's better than everyone. She's so smart, right? And she grinds everybody's nose in it. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the lock, and you can't. Yeah, what is it wrong? What's wrong with her? All right, go ahead, Delbert.
Having said that, I guess I throw fireball around quite a bit. So who am I to talk about finesse?
That is true. I mean, for all the spells that you could be wielding, that one is rather destructive, and I'm surprised Idris hasn't complained yet that you've destroyed something of value.
PJ, is that Penny Rogers, the gambler?
It is. This is my patron saint of Hirsch. So,
I understand.
That's great.
I understand. So there's a bunch of flour in here, a bunch of rotted and mushy potatoes, bins of apples, and a massive crate of different things that are labeled with, olive oil, a whole bunch of different stuff. This looks like a bunch of foodstuffs, a massive amount of foodstuffs were stashed in here.
Okay. Anything particularly of interest, or just like some things are good, some things are bad?
Yeah, are you going to tear apart that crate and stack it down, or are you just giving it the once over? Nothing appears to be magical.
I will. No, it looks like foodstuffs, and I really don't feel like tearing things apart, so I probably would not.
well, you may need some grease for those mechanical pieces.
I have plenty of grease in other locations, and I can also make infinite copper wire in case you forgot.
Ooh. All right.
I can make copper coins out of it, that wire.
Are you going to check the second room with all the barrels in it now and the baskets?
Yes,
All right.
unless Penny has already done so.
Have you, Penny?
That other room to the north, I have not. No.
All right, so go ahead and make your check then, Jenna Bank. All right, Jenna Bank, these big clay urns, when you pull them open, they have salt in it. They have different spices and things you would need to cook, like baking powder, baking soda. So there's a bunch of that and a lot of it. There's a whole bunch of pork, pickled pork, pickles, dried fish, whole bunch of things like that. And those 3 kegs seem to be filled with wine, and it looks like they're still good. Doesn't smell like vinegar.
I look underneath for spiders to make sure there are no tiny spider swarms.
Roll initiative. No, I'm kidding.
I found some wine in case anyone needs a break, I guess. But otherwise, there's not much interesting around here. Idris, are you done playing Iron Chef?
Idris, go ahead
The chairman's grandson is not pleased.
Idris,
nephew.
Go ahead and make investigation check yourself.
Cool.
You find sitting on top of that fireplace, that stove over there, ring of keys.
Oh, nice. Is there like an iron pot and like an iron spoon?
Absolutely.
Or like an iron frying pan? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There is a full set of cookware here, all right? Some of the crockeries have been smashed, but the cast iron stuff has not been. All right?
Yeah, I'll take that and the metal spoon.
Okay, cool.
Like I tap them. Is it like loud when they tap against each other?
Yes.
Good. I'll take it.
Once I get my eyeballs glowing again, I'll turn to Penny and say, I can't say that I would have made the same choice you did, but trust is about accepting people and trusting that they will do the right thing regardless of how things appear. So I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to pass judgment on you. As far as I'm concerned, we're still friends.
The egg of Coot says to Penny, what does it matter what that Hythonian prick thinks anyhow?
Oh man, the egg beat me to it.
And why wouldn't we be double it after that? Just because the old gods try to get involved in our business.
Fair enough.
Idris comes around the corner. He's like, "Hey, we should probably really get the rat people down up in here. It's like a great place for them.
Like, there's
Our
like a
rat
lot
people.
of rotted shit in these rooms.
Yeah, but not over here. I mean, they can drink some wine. I'm sure they can sniff out what's good and what's not.
There is no undue magical radiation. You confirm what Jenna Bank has reported, that it looks like there's the background magic that you find every place. You're also not seeing those bright pulsing lines across the floor that you run into occasionally when there's conflict. It's been a day or so since there was a serious brawl going on, so you're not seeing that sort of pulsing transference of energy that you've seen before. What would we like to do next?
Okay. Walking through has Jenna Bink managed to open this door yet?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got a whole bunch of rotted, looks like dry goods, flour, things like that, some fruit, potatoes, and then the other one, there's a whole bunch of like barrels filled with things that are clearly been pickled or stored in salt. So you've got some salt pork and stuff like that. This room down here stinks to high heaven. This room smells okay. And there's tons of boxes and stuff around in there.
Tad, up slightly north of our current location where I drew that arrow.
The green one?
Yeah, it's the green one. Is there a door there that we missed?
Yeah, there's a door there, but you didn't miss it. You decided to go past it. You just hadn't gotten back to it yet. Oh,
right,
no. You saw that there was mold all the way around.
Oh, that was the mold one. Okay.
Yeah, and you guys were just like,
Nope.
no. Yeah. Do you want to go back and open it?
No, we're still at no.
All right, good. Okay. What are you all doing? And just so everybody knows, out in the stream, I'm going to show everybody a quick sync. We're talking about that door right there. There we go, right there. All right. Shooting back in. What y'all doing?
So there was that whole hallway north of the temple that we haven't touched any of those doors. Do we want to do that, or do we want to go possibly have discussions with the rat people?
By rat people, do you mean the rats up on the first floor that you've been feeding and taking care of, or the ratlings down at the end of the far hall, the long hall behind the double doors?
I mean the ones that made a barricade and tried to shoot us, but Penny shot better.
Or one of those types of conversations?
Well, no. I mean, we could attempt to have Idris actually have a conversation with them. I don't know. We need to deal with them one way or another eventually. One would imagine.
Well, I mean, if we're going to deal with them, we should just pop down through their stairwell and surprise the hell out of them.
I suppose that is an option.
Let's investigate this wall with the purple. That's a door, you said.
Yeah, it was a door, and when you guys searched it originally, it was surrounded with mold, and the door was swollen in the door, swollen in the frame, and it looked like it was wet.
Okay.
Oh, Delbert Blackstaff ain't afraid of no mold.
That's not necessarily true. Can I tell where the water has come from? Is it bulging out?
Go ahead and give me an investigation. You think, dang Delbert, you think that it's absorbed ambient moisture and that there is some serious source of moisture, or at least back in there. You're not certain exactly where it's come from. It looks like it's started at the bottom of the door and gone up, and the wood at the bottom of the door is more degraded than the wood at the top. The wood at the top is in better shape, and you can see gradations of nutrients and salts that were in the water that have passed up the wood as it's been absorbed and drawn up through the door. Are you seeing it? And there's mold in a ring around the door and all over the wood.
This looks like some serious water damage here. And I'll show Idris.
Well, I mean, you are more perceptive. You'd probably be a better claims adjuster than myself.
All right, very good.
I bet this door is pretty weak. We could probably just knock it down.
You're gonna shock it.
I could desiccate it.
I mean, I could use my hammer, but we're just talking about finesse, and I like to think that I have lots of finesse.
By all means.
I would love to see that.
Where is everybody?
I've placed myself.
I have placed myself.
I'm
good.
apparently moving in front of the door, and I'm intelligent, not wise.
Same.
Check.
So, Delbert, can you move over a little bit? It's easier if I'm like right in front of the door. Otherwise, I have to do.
Sure.
The door is split on the things on the map.
Yeah, you can work at it from either side, Jen. No problem at all.
So I'm going to take my hammer out and try to beat. Actually, I'm gonna. I will try to. No, I'm just gonna go at it with the hammer. I mean, it's moldy as crap. So hammer.
Give me a strength check.
I'm gonna use prestidigitation to kind of like desiccate the area around the door frame.
Excellent.
Try and reduce the swelling.
Jettabink, that's ridiculous. So you can see you're a 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you hit the door once, and it disintegrates. It just falls apart, and there's a great cloud of dust and spores that comes pouring out into the room. And is it less than 24 hours since you had an outstanding meal?
No, it's not.
Yes. It is less than 24 hours, right?
Well, yeah, it is less. It is less than 24 hours. Yes, I was
All
thinking
right.
no, but we're in the time frame. So.
All right, so saving throws versus poison are not necessary. All right, and you're surrounded by these thick yellow spores, and you look down into the room, and you can see that there's been water seeping in from the back wall, and it's a film all over the wall, and it's just been sucked up by the wood, and every surface in here, including that pile of debris, is covered by fungus and mold.
I'm going to move forward and try to like move the pile of debris around with my hammer just to see if there's anything interesting in it.
Go ahead and search. You find sitting in here, there's a body, skeleton, and it's completely encrusted in all this fungus and all this mold. And it's got a brass necklace. And
Is
the
it magical?
It's not magical.
Okay.
It's not magical. But it's got a metal disc, a medallion in the bottom of it. And the necklace itself has the symbol of Uther. And on the back side of it, it looks like it has some teeth in it. Go ahead and make a Jenabink, and you can do this too. Go ahead and make straight intelligence checks, both of you. Jen, you'll actually have advantage on this one because it's tinkery.
Oh, can I roll my history artificer's lore?
Yes, you may.
All right.
All right, you're both looking at this. And Jenabink, one of the things that Uther had crafted, and you weren't involved in this project, but you heard about it. It happened like about 15, 20 years before now, right? Or at least what you think now is. Uther had a whole bunch of mechanical keys crafted, and this would be one of them. And you can use it to open chests. You can use it to open different things, and they're super, super hard to pick. But this looks like it might be one of them.
Oh, I pick that up, and I walk over to Penny. Hey Penny, do you know what this is?
Like some stuff with teeth on it.
It's super interesting. This is a mechanical key that Uther had, and it allows you to get into really difficultly locked boxes and doors. And I thought you might want to have it because you're always wanting to open the chests and stuff.
Isn't that like mechanical arcane science stuff that you'd be more interested in like fiddling with?
Well, I mean, I think it's fascinating, but I think it's more useful for you.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah.
I mean, I can keep it if you don't want it.
We need some dueling insight checks here. Jedabink, drop one. Penny, drop one.
I tap Dilbert. I tap Dilbert on the shoulder, and I'm like, small person fight. Small person fight.
Penny, unlike the rest of these tall pricks who want nothing more than to control you, Jedabink actually seems to be trying to be nice to you and give you a gift. Why she's giving you this, you don't know. And Jedabink, Penny's mad over something.
I hold out and stay very still with the key offered.
Well, all right, thanks. I will see if this comes to like good use later or something.
All right.
Okay.
So you have that disc, correct? So it's on Penny's inventory? All right. Good deal. All right.
Is that wall, asked Delbert with the water, moving water, or where's it coming from?
Looks like it's seeping through the back wall. Delbert.
Is the back wall very strong?
Back wall's solid. It's just got a crack along the back of it. It's got a seam. And it looks like there's just the water's been seeping down through it, and you can see that it's mineral-rich water. You know, it's got some phosphorus in it, probably has a lot of magnesium, and the fungus has just been thriving on it. Sitting here in the dark, cooking it up. I mean, and the map doesn't necessarily show it, but it was blanketed in fungus. So, mold and, you know, some mushrooms, too. Ooh, you're pretty certain the mushrooms themselves are poisonous, though. You could probably get away with eating them right now.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the kitchen area, and I'm going to look for, like, glass jars, vials, and I'm just going to take a bunch of pieces of the mushrooms.
There is a bunch of tin buckets that have, like, little lids on them that you can put lids on top of them, and they're probably slop buckets for the prisoners, where they'd, like, put porridge.
Like, how many of those can I get?
You can get 10 or 12 of them if you want. I mean, there's a
I will take them. Yep, all of them. And I will cut up the mushrooms. I'll make it look really fine, the cut up job. I will put them in there, and then I'll seal them up.
All right. And you all had such an excellent meal. There's no danger of being poisoned right now, correct? So
that's correct.
All right, excellent. So you're able to collect that. The detect magics are going to fade over the process of him doing that. So, all right, so we've collected the mushrooms and the fungus and the molds that we find there. We have a number of buckets. Is everybody going to, like, carry two? What are we going to do to transport them? Because carrying 12 buckets that are empty is totally different than carrying 12 buckets that are full.
Oh, they're slot buckets? I thought they were like individual cans.
They're buckets, but when you carry them, you stack them one inside of the other, right? No big deal. When you get them full, how are you carrying them?
Oh, no, I thought they were like cans, you know, like this. I didn't realize they were buckets.
They're little buckets. But you can't carry all of them when they're full.
I gotcha.
You cannot.
I'll keep some here in the kitchen.
It's like being 3 foot tall and trying to cover
100
arrows.
I'll keep some here in the kitchen. 10 of them, and 2 of them I'm gonna walk out with.
All right, cool. So you've got 10 buckets filled with the mushroom sitting in the kitchen area on like that table there, right? And then you're going to carry the other two with it. What are y'all doing now?
There's rat folk. There's doors north of the temple. There's doors
Wrong.
along that long hallway.
Wrong. There were rat folk. We're going to make the best mushroom meal we can. And then we're going to invite them to dine with us. And then we're going to crush them.
Oh, okay.
And they're never going to see it coming. Yeah. So I say, let's head down there. Let's bring them this Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Wheels.
And strike some accords with each other. You know? Because, we're going to make friends over a meal.
I suppose we need to do that now so that we can eat the meal and not have our own issues.
No. See, I got enough healing where right before we do this, I can just touch every one of us, and we can not have to worry about that poison. And then we can just sit here all fine and dandy, smiling at our friends across from a nice meal while we simply wait. And then we slaughter them all.
You're really infatuated with poisoning people. You tried the thing with the rats in the first level too, and it didn't happen. And now you really want to do it here.
I'd forgotten about that.
I will get them back. I will get them back.
He really
for all their insolence that they have heaped upon me.
I'm never eating a meal that you cook ever, just so you're fully aware.
That is probably a safe thing. I don't even eat the meals that I cook. I eat these and I pull out my rations. Easiest thing to do.
I mean, baking is kind of like arcane science. So I can understand why it would be beyond Idris.
Yeah, I pay people to do it.
I thought
the souffle either rises or it does not.
Why don't you go do that thing, Idris? Although I still think there are other doors. Do we really want to walk down that hallway without looking at those doors that are to the south of that long hallway?
I mean, there's nothing to say we have to look in all those doors first.
I mean, I would definitely want to know what is to the south of us if we are attempting to assault some people.
All right, where are we going, folks? Show me.
I'm going to start walking through the big... I'm going to go through up here. I'm going to go through the big thing with the stairs, and I'm going to head to this door.
All right, so I'm going to assume everybody else is doing that. And I'm going to sync us all up a little bit. All right, first things, you've got down at the far end of the hallway. I want to show everybody this. You've got those double doors. Those double doors are closed. The barricade's gone. All right, but there is a light spell cast on those doors, and that light emanates out that far. All right, and there was a little fortified position there that offered no cover against Penny. Penny just picked them off as they tried to hide behind it if they showed themselves at all. All right, and then you have that door that is directly in front of you. And
I'm going to investigate that door.
please do. This door is not locked.
I will open the door.
Blue light washes over you.
Ooh! That might be a good thing.
And you see a fountain.
Oh, it's just a fountain. Damn it.
Is it one of those fountains?
Seems to be one of those fountains, yes.
Delbert, do we want to take a few minutes and figure this one out? Or do we want to continue looking at other things?
We could have Idris suck it up with his sword again. Suck up the magic of the fountain the way he did before.
I suppose.
While I was treating with the
Aranea.
Aranea.
Do we think that will have any effect now that she is back?
I don't know.
I was gonna roll on arcane. No.
Yeah, do we?
Go ahead and make your check.
I'm assuming that we're just sitting here talking about it, discussing
Yeah.
discussing it arcanely. So why don't you just make a single check with advantage
Go ahead
since
and
I'm helping you.
Oh,
Go ahead and make a second roll. Yeah,
I'll make
absolutely.
a second roll. Is Delbert saying that Genabink is definitely better at arcane science than he is? I think I just heard that. Everyone heard that.
It wasn't written down, so I didn't understand it. It was just a bunch of clicks and whistles.
All right. Jenabank, you and Delbert, you guys are talking through it, and it's hard to say. There's a chance it might have some additional effect. What that helped him do is rewrite the sword, help bring Shia back and give Shia a chance to break free of the Coot's influence. You don't know if it's going to do the same thing. So,
Okay.
Do you want to try it, or do you want us to look at the fountain first and see how different it is?
I asked Shia how batshit crazy their idea is.
Shia says, so it's hard to tell. Things seem to be changing all the time. There were things that I thought were set in stone and absolute that aren't now. And I think your presence changes things.
That's going to be a hard pass from us.
Okay.
I want to. Do I have any vials on me?
Absolutely.
I would like to try to get a vial of the liquid in the fountain.
Appears to be water.
It just looks like water. There's nothing to it,
Yeah.
But it's glowing.
but it's glowing blue. What's making the blue glow?
Well, it's actually glowing blue from underneath it. The water is just a medium that it passes through.
Oh, okay, and that's not nearly as interesting
yeah.
then.
What you do remember is that there was a faint blue illumination from the fountain upstairs also, and you really couldn't decipher it until you cast a detect magic and started to see the runes that were in it.
I will do my thing with detect magic then. I will start to write my formulas on the floor.
All right.
Seeing that, it probably would be a good idea for me to do the same.
I'm going to step into the room though to do that because I don't want to be in the hallway casting for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I look at Penny. I'm like, looks like they're going to take another 10 minutes here.
Pretty much been the day.
You guys can. There's several other doors. I mean, if you feel like you're up for opening doors without us, have fun. There's another door on the other side of this room, as a matter of fact.
Deuces as we roll out.
Deuces.
I'm gonna check out this door, Ted.
10 minutes of Penny and Idris just going off on their own. Y'all
Go
are in
ahead,
trouble.
roll. Yep. That door does not appear to be trapped.
Is it locked?
You're able to pop it right open. It was locked.
Oh, can I try my keys in it?
Yeah, you can.
I'll
Do they
open the
work?
door.
Yeah, it opens right up.
Oh, I'm like, here you go, Penny. You can try these next time.
That's a lot of keys. All right.
I can hold on to them. They jingle jangle. I'd already do that.
So
It's
this looks like, and it looks like people left in a rush, but this looks like a little barracks area. It's got one of those soft wood doors directly across from it.
All right. I will investigate the barracks area.
Go ahead and make your roll. In about 10 minutes, you find everything there is to find in there, and these are clearly priests of Henrin, or acolytes of Henrin, based on what you're seeing, and you find a bunch of mixed coin, some silver, some copper, some electrum, a few gold coins, and it's in their chests, and there's definitely clerical robes down in each one of these chests.
Any holy symbols too that we can melt down later for coin?
No, I mean there's stuff on the No, there's definitely holy symbols on the clothes themselves, but there's not any specific religious icons. So,
Okay. I'll investigate this wooden door after we're done thoroughly desecrating this area.
okay. That door is unlocked. That's a soft wood door.
We'll open it up.
All right, and assume you're stepping in.
Well, depending on what on the other side. I mean,
You
if
don't.
there's
That's what you can see right now. You're not hearing anything right now.
okay. I mean, if you say there's like a Baylor on the other side, I'm probably not stepping into that.
Yeah, no, there's a bow deck. No, you're good, man.
Okay. All right.
Bodak.
All right. Well, I'll take a look in this room as well. This looks fancy.
This looks like a rectory of some sort. All right, there is a. This looks like a place where priests would meet, and there is a big, large armoire on the wall. Hold on, that's probably about 10 minutes. You both have cast Detect Magic.
Can't do our jump scare through the door on him.
I will.
Well, now they're going
look
to
at
spend the
Milton.
next half an hour talking about arcane science stuff, so we'll have plenty of time.
No, only lasts 10 more minutes, so at least only 20-ish.
So you look down into it, and you can see it's got that same series of symbols that you've been seeing again and again and again and again. All right.
Is it weaker?
No, it's not actively receiving energy at this point. So,
Okay.
every once in a while you'll see a little squeak come down the wall and drop in, come down the hallway and drop into it. But it's not, you actually have looked at one of these right after a combat when there was just this pulsing wave of energy rolling into this. But you're not seeing that right now. Every once in a while you'll see a little something come down the hallway from down to the south or down out to the east.
Is
So
there anything different from the one on the first floor?
It's stylized in a different way. It's got a slightly different design. It's primarily, you're seeing a blue light. And you remember the one on the first floor was pulsing with different colors at one point, but it settled back into blue. What you both think is going on is that this is one of the fountains that collects the energy here, that collects the conflict, all the things that Odir talked to you about and Sakwan talked to you about. But this one is not. There's no conflict right now, so it's not actively absorbing energy.
So we need to destroy all these.
I was honestly just thinking the same thing, that if we don't allow the fountains to collect the energy, then the whole, because they had mentioned that in order to stop the energy from collecting, we have to destruct the feeding mechanism. So do we want to take a hack on it? I mean,
I think we should.
I will take out my hammer while Penny's not around.
All right. And what are you doing?
I'm going to try to destroy a wall of the fountain so the water spills out.
You remember when Gimli struck the one true ring?
Yeah.
Guess what?
My hands hurt, huh?
Yeah, and you're sitting on your butt back against the wall.
Oh, I was kind of hoping the artifact would like detonate and strip all the powers.
All right, we're going to go back down to Penny and Idris. Penny and Idris.
Did you hear that, Penny? Sounded like somebody fell.
All right. Penny had just made an investigation check, though. And Penny, you find in this armor right here, you find 5 really good set of vestments, right? Worth money, like sets of clerical vestments. A bunch of blocks of incense. And there is a small coffer, all right? Open-faced box, right? That has a slit in it that you can pop right off. And it's got, wow, bunch of gold, bunch of silver, bunch of copper.
Nice. Any nice holy symbols we can melt down later for?
You
As she's looking for the holy symbols, I remind Penny, I'm like, look, Penny, yeah, I know you can melt them down, but you know how much crime could be committed against the church with these vestments? You're not thinking of the big picture. You're just getting the chump change from melting them down. You could actually get into their rectories and get their offerings. I'd hurt them, hit them where it hurts.
Now, last time I did that, Sakwan got pretty mad.
Well, I'm not saying you do it. We can sell the vestments and things to somebody else. They could do it. Be a friend to friend.
I'm gonna check out this door to the south as well, then.
All right. It is not locked from this side.
I'll open it.
This actually looks like people would, could use this to prepare themselves. So there's a chair with a mirror. There's a basin. They're not lit right now, but there's a series of candelabra mounted on the doors, and then there's a whole bunch of clothes hanging on that rail right beside you, and that should about do it for you. That's about another 10 minutes. So you do hear about the time you get down to here, you hear a big bong crashing sound directly north of you from where you think the fountain is.
Well, we'll see how many of them are left when we get back.
Yeah, they got like a big mechanical dog thing. They should be all right.
All right, I think what we're going to do is we're about the end of our session here for today. And we have just examined the fountain and attempted to break it with no success. And the two of you are in the process of sorting through some things. And I think, let's talk a little bit about the session here and where we think everybody is. First of all, from the DM, fantastic role-playing by everybody today. I'm absolutely impressed with how you've handled the situations that I set in front of you and how you've approached the challenges that I laid out for your characters from a role-playing perspective. So bravo, and thank you for that work. So that's the first thing. Second thing is what y'all thinking. We will start with, let's start with Delbert. Delbert.
I did not expect Jinnabink to get blown against the wall in doing that, and that concerns me. I'm definitely going to be checking on her to find out if she's okay, and pulling her from the room. Pretty cool to talk to actually converse with the pantheon. The gods of Blackmoor, and that has some interesting social repercussions that we'll have to explore when we get back to the surface.
Makes sense.
That's it for me.
Idris.
The gods are a bunch of pansies. It's clear they have the power. They just aren't going to use it, and they're going to let the egg rickroll all over Blackmoor for some reason. And Penny was probably right. They're making everybody be pawns because, why knock that person down when you could knock over the egg? There's like 20 of them, right, in that pantheon? So, yeah, a bunch of dicks. Basically what came out of that. But doesn't mean he won't take their answers, won't take their money, won't take their gifts. So
Slowly converting all of them.
Like Hirsch is like, yo, good luck, bro. I'm gonna teach you this, but it's up to you. The other ones are like, and you're like, come on. If you can create things, you could do better than that. If the egg's willing to play on the prime material, y'all should be playing on the prime material.
That is truly fantastic. Anything else you'd like to add today, sir?
No, I'm good. I got a seal. I'm good.
Excellent. Okay, Jinnabink, where are you at?
Well, Jenabink, I can tell Delbert already is going to have a hard time pulling Jenabink from this chamber because she just found out she can't do something. So now she's going to have to experiment to figure out how she can do something. So there's going to be a lot of, well, that didn't work, let's try this. Well, this didn't work. Oh. It might be fireball time. She might be starting to be like, hey, so Delbert, what you should do is...
So basically what happens is you get bounced off the wall, you look at it, and immediately there's like equations running through your head, and you're like, Mohs hardness scale, was it the hard enough mineral? I guess I need to find a harder mineral, or it's a flat surface, I should have used a pointed surface. So immediately you're in, how do I break this mode, right?
Absolutely, because it's like, I know my hammer is magical for purposes of that, so, magic is not the thing, blunt force is not the thing, so what is the thing? There's got to be a way to destroy this thing.
So sometimes I do feel like Genevieve and Delbert are in their own personal episode of Mythbusters.
Yeah, that doesn't sound untrue. Except I'm the one, like, I think Delbert in this case is Jamie, and I'm Adam Savage, because I'm like, let's do it. Let's blow it up.
We have to do it the traditional way.
That's right. So
there's that, and then of course I'm assuming that Penny is mad directly at me. So
right.
I'm trying to figure out in my head how not to do the clingy friend thing, because Jenna Bink hates the clingy friend thing, because she's had way too many people be like, oh, Jenna Bink's not very responsive socially, so let me do the and she's like, no. So we'll see how that develops.
So Jen, how did Jenna Bink respond to the gods? Exactly what was going on there, you think, in your head?
Oh, so Jenna Bink, if Jenna Bink could be an atheist in a world where deities are so physically present, she would be. But since she can't be, and she has to admit that deities exist and divine magic works, all she can do is note in her head how ineffective divine magic and deities are, because not only are they asking people without omniscient presence to ask questions when they could just be giving us the flipping information, they're also, when they give us the information, limiting their answers to a very finite scope. So she is, as usual, disappointed in the gods, but that's just the thing.
It's almost like they're bound by rules that don't make sense, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So, excellent Jenna Bink summary of interacting with the gods. Matt, Penny had a fantastic episode. Really good role playing. Let's talk through where you are. Huh?
Did she really have a fantastic episode, though? Did she?
Oh, she had a totally shitty episode, but Matt had a fantastic episode role playing.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. Penny's just tired of things in the background, aka gods, Egg of Coot, always attempting to work their control. She's a free spirit, So, and if they really wanted to be involved and do more, then they would do more for people, and actually be there in horrible situations, the way Penny looks at it. So she's like, if you haven't been here this whole time, why are you showing up now? Go fuck yourself.
So, did the gods manage to get above Frida Galen and your needs to be shanked list?
No, it's Frida Galen. It's like Frida Galen, Egg of Coot, and then the gods probably,
So, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I really, really respect the work you all did today. Good role playing across the board. Good mechanics, good interacting with stuff. And, you guys, I think you're feeling now that you sort of broke the defenses of the level that you're on. So now it's a lot of investigation and putting the pieces together. And I'm enjoying watching you guys do it. And, you can probably feel how, based on how you explored, things would have been completely different. So imagine if you had engaged the, Temple of Henrin and that shrine before you went in to fight the undead, right? And it was just how you guys chose to explore the directions you went, and it was really interesting for me to see how it unfolded. And
we would have been F'd. You know how many dark side points we would still have?
True that.
I mean, some of us still have the same amount of dark side points, P.
Didn't you go? You went up. You went up.
Oh, that's fantastic. So,
I mean, is the Egg of Coot really that bad? Is he? What about all the good things the egg's done, guys?
I see you've been listening to me in the background all the time, Penny.
There is a thriving economy here in level 2. Well,
yeah, look, we've got all these different societies that are being inclusive, with one another, that are working together.
I
don't
love
see that in Blackmoor.
I'd like to point out that Jenna Bink foreshadowed some, I'm afraid, when I went into the light with the avatars, and my first question was, did Penny stab me in the back?
Not yet, Jen. Not yet.
Well, folks, thank you as always for stopping in to see us and enjoying our game. If you haven't followed us already, please do. And if you'd like to follow any of these wonderful role players here, you can. Force Alanto is actively streaming, and I know he would appreciate growing a larger audience also. And I really respect you taking the time out of your life to share our story with us and support the work we're doing in honor of Dave Arneson and Blackmoor itself. I will say, Uther once and always. Let's see. Who do we want to raid today? Why don't we? How do you feel about raiding Martian Cat? How's that sound to you?
Sounds good.
Sounds
All right.
great.
We're gonna go stick our heads in and go raid Martian Cat. She is a streams a whole bunch of video games. She plays a whole bunch of different sort of stuff, and she's a good friend of ours. I know her and her husband from the time that my family lived in Phoenix, and she's a genuinely good person and a good fan of the stream. So let's all go say hey to Martian Cat. Whoops. Try and do it. I'm getting an error message on my end. Jimmy, see if
All
you
right,
can.
off we go.
Awesome. Thank you.
And we're there.